has agreed to respond to your questions. We will have about 15 minutes of interaction with her. Please introduce yourselves and ask questions.
Hi Sadhvi ji. It was lovely. It was lovely hearing you. My name is Pushpa Vijula. I'm a freelance journalist, besides a psychologist too. My question is this. The political scenario in our country and across the world is very disturbing. And again, if we segregate ourselves and we go for spiritual, when you go within yourself, you can at the most find strength. But how do you, if you come back and try to fight or face the scene, the political and the world scenario, it becomes aggression. Now, how does one balance this? Because this is a very real challenge. And to go within yourself is again escapism. But on the other hand, there is also mass consciousness. When a certain level of people reach that level of peace, that it transmits automatically. But to keep quiet for that long and to take that chance, you're taking a very big chance. What is the way out?
Beautiful point and a very important point. Let me clarify. Spirituality does not make us dull. It's not a way of withdrawing. It's not a way of escaping from the world. It's not a form of disconnection. This is actually a great myth. A lot of people will come every evening after the Ganga Aarti. Puja Swamiji gives satsang in this hut that he has, this bamboo hut. And every once in a while you get people who, rather than ask a question, want to just sort of hear themselves speak. And you'll have somebody who will start to talk about how greatly they've attained vairagya and non-attachment, and that they don't care about things and nothing affects them and nothing. And what we try to make very, very clear to them is that that's not the point of spirituality. It's not about not caring. It's not about not trying. There is nobody on earth who works harder, cares more, or gives more of himself to the world than my guru. And he's a sannyasi. It's not a matter of not trying, not caring, not working. But the problem is, when you don't have spirituality, we go up and down along with everything else. And then we're useless. If I've had a bad day at the office, now I'm useless. I come home, I have a headache. Now I take out the aggression on my kids, on my husband. The next day I'm down before I start. My own reaction to that which I wanted to do has now everything shifted. Let's say there's a project I want to do, and it's an important project. It's a project that the country of India needs, and somebody who should be helping me do this is not helping me. If I let myself get angry, if I don't have a spiritual connection, my anger at that person is going to prevent me from moving further in the project. It's not going to convince that person to help me, so it's not actually going to achieve anything. All it's going to do is thwart myself. So actually the very best gift that we can give to the world, to the country, is to be spiritual, because it's that spiritual connection that balances us. It serves like an anchor. Waves will come, but as long as you have that anchor, you stay stable. If you've got people in your boat, if we say, okay, you're a boat, the work that you're doing is a boat, you're carrying people across some river or some ocean or some lake, and people are depending on you. If you're going up and down with every wave that comes, how are you going to help them? Only by finding that level of stability within, which as far as I've seen can only come through spirituality. Only through finding that can you actually have the strength to be in politics. Otherwise what ends up happening is it becomes all about me. Otherwise it's me. People go into politics typically with an altruistic motive. I may be naive, but in my opinion, I really believe that most people who embark on a political path embark with altruistic motives. But along the way, somehow, it went from being about the world to being about me. How did that person's picture get bigger than my picture on the poster? And why was it, whatever it is, how did you not vote for me? How did this not happen? I was calling, you didn't take my phone. It's become all about me and my ego. I rang the bell twice, you didn't come. Who do you think you are? Who gave you permission to go to the bathroom? We've lost track of why did I enter politics in the first place? To make a difference. If the guy who works for me can't bear to come into work every day and see my face, how can I possibly hope that I'm going to achieve anything for the nation? So I think it's very, very important to get involved. It's very important to be active. For some people, that activism will be political. For some, it will be social. For some, it will be academic. But the world needs activists today. But we need activists who are balanced within themselves so that the action becomes about the world rather than about me.
You concluded with a seemingly simple, my name is Vijay Menon, I'm a retiree. You concluded with a seemingly simple suggestion that we need to wash away the clay, that we need to reconnect. But how do we go about it?
For you, it's actually much easier. Indians. On some level, it is within you. And I say this really. This is not just a platitude from, a Westerner turned Indian. Every evening on the banks of Ganga, we have this beautiful Ganga Aarti. And it's become very, very, very famous over the years. And it's the sort of thing now where when any celebrity of any sort, from any country, is anywhere in the vicinity, they bring them to the Aarti. And what I have seen with the Indians, even Indians who are living abroad, Indians who would consider themselves non-spiritual, Indians who are politicians, who are actors, who are actresses, who are big industrialists, people who don't spend any time on spirituality. They sit in that Aarti and they start to cry. And they cry because what happens is, on some level, it is reconnecting them with something within themselves that they had forgotten. And when I've seen it happen over and over again, so simply and so easily, what it's made me realize is your clay's not too thick. You're actually in much better shape than the rest of the world. The very first step is simply to realize it. What I have found personally on a spiritual level is the simple awareness that it's actually within me. The simple awareness that this nonsense around me isn't really me is half of the journey. A very simple technique, a really, really simple technique, is to be aware of the breath. Now, I say this, and it sounds very trite, it sounds very simple, but it is incredibly powerful. What happens is, the mind, we say things like, my mind is in 100 places. But the mind actually cannot be in more than one place at one time. When we say my mind is in 100 places, what we mean is it's moving at breakneck speed from one place to another place. But at each given moment, we can actually only have one thought. The mind actually can only be focused on one thing at any given moment. And if we take a few moments every day, and you don't have to call it meditation, you can do it sitting in your chair, you can do it even while somebody's talking to you, and bring the awareness to the breath.